Hey guys, thanks for coming back to my channel. Yes, I'm going to address your initial shock if you have seen my videos before. I did just shave my beard, and I also had shaved my head like a week and a bit ago. So now I am completely shaved. Anyways, this is unrelated to what we're talking about today. So what we're talking about today is recently in the Canadian government, the Ontario political party, NDP, has put out a statement that they want to have like these safety zones or something for LGBTQ spirit or oh god, I don't even know all the acronym. LGBTQI plus, and there's two spirit in there somewhere. I don't know. I don't know what it is. And I think this has to do with the drag queen shows that have been happening for kids recently. So for those of you who don't know, Canada has multiple political parties. 6 main political parties on the federal level in Canada. The farthest left is the NDP, followed by the Liberal Party or the Green Party. I guess it might be NDP, Green, then Liberals. So the NDP is very socialist. The Green Party is how it sounds, sort of like the environmentalist people. Liberal Party is pretty mainstream, just like liberalism. It's the party who's formed the government, I believe, the most in Canada. Then we have the Conservative Party, which is what it sounds like, more on the right. We have the People's Party of Canada, which is even more right than the Conservative Party. And we also have the Bloc de Québécois, which is a federal party, but it specifically relates to Quebec. They only have members of our government in Quebec, because they were kind of like a separatist party, sort of. They really are interested in preserving like the French culture and the French community in Quebec. Right now, where this video is taking place in the provinces of Ontario, it is currently run by the Conservative Party in that province. The woman in the video is from the NDP party, who is not currently elected in the province, but she is a sitting member. All right, so let's watch the video and see what this is about, and then we'll get into some of the background details.
The topic that brings us here is deadly serious. The rise of hate and violence facing the 2S LGBTQI+ communities, including the drag artists, happening across Ontario and right in the nation, has been alarming.
Like, there's 5 of them there. Why are they dressed like it's Halloween? Could they not at least like done some like RuPaul Drag Race stuff where they actually like look good? Because it looks like a Halloween party right now. Like, what is happening here? Like, and then they're with Canadian government officials. This is so weird. Could they not just dress up like better? Like, why does one look like an old man with a beard, and like the one with the pink here like has like some shit on her face, like a must? I don't even know what's going on. It literally looks like it's a Halloween party, and then there's just a kid standing there. Like, I don't understand. Like, what is happening?
There's been a dramatic spike in violence and discrimination targeting the 2S LGBT community, a rise of over 60% between 2019 and 2021, all recorded by Statistics Canada. This information is also affirmed in anecdotal conversations I've had with so many people from Toronto to Thunder Bay. Literally, in between, we are seeing community members rally, but also they're fearful of what happens next if we don't have protection from the government and law enforcement to take care of them. What we do know is that hate crimes are oftentimes underreported. And even though it is underreported, what I've heard from our drag communities, as well as their audiences, it has been alarming.
Sorry, the one with the green hair in the background, she's just like mouthing "I love you" or something to somebody. That's fun. I'm sorry, I just noticed that. I know this is a serious video, guys. I'm sorry.
I'm just going to list a few of the cities that we know and municipalities that we are aware of where protests anti-2S LGBT extremists have taken place. They've been targeted in Hamilton, Welland, Fort Erie, Guelph, Kingston, Kitchener, Gravenhurst, Brockville, Peel Region, Elora, Lambton, Sarnia, Sudbury, Sault Ste. Marie, North Bay, Pembroke, Pickering, Orillia, Whitby, Dryden, Ottawa, Woodstock, Peterborough, and right here in Ontario's capital, Toronto. For months now, as the 2S LGBT critic, I have been repeatedly asking the Ford Conservatives for their plan on what are they going to do to keep this community safe. I've asked them public questions during question period. I've spoken to the ministers in private, trying to urge them to take real action, because we need real action to keep our community safe. Their replies have been consistently vague, unfocused, and ultimately unhelpful. The drag communities are done waiting for this government to take real action in effective ways, and so is the Ontario NDP. This is why this afternoon I'll be introducing a new private member's bill. This new legislation in Ontario is designed to keep the 2S LGBT community safe. Drag artists, their audiences, the business, and the facilities that host those drag performances have been put at risk. And unless we put forward a strategy to protect them, Ontario's social, economic, and cultural richness is under attack. We have to protect that. The proposed legislation does two things, and I will go through them.
Okay, can we at least be consistent with this? I'm all for if you want to protect these people, right? Like I don't want people getting hurt, and I don't want people getting name called and things being done to them. I mean, people are going to say stuff. I mean, whatever. You just have to develop a thick skin. Literally, people are going to say shit to you, like especially on the internet. We're all on the internet right now. People say mean things to us all the time. That's just part of life. But okay, fine. Like if somebody's actually doing something physically to you, you're actually in physical danger. I agree. That is not acceptable, and that shouldn't be happening. We're all human beings, and we should all be treating each other with respect, even if we don't really like the other person or for whatever reason, or you don't agree with them or something, right? That's fine. We all disagree on things. But can we be even with this? What happened when like all these conservative people wanted to give talks and they wanted to go to universities and they got shut down and they got protested and things were thrown at them and they were attacked with like bike locks and all this bullshit? None of this shit happened. Never did anything for that. But now because it's LGBTQ plus, oh guys, we got to protect them. We got to protect them. It should just be even-handed is all I'm saying. How can you just say this for the one side? It just feels like we're trying to get brownie points right now. Trying to get brownie points because of this community, but if anything, we should be passing some sort of protections if there isn't already. Like, I'm not a law scholar, that you can't do these things to people in general. Why it shouldn't just be LGBTQ plus, just like anybody. You shouldn't be able to physically harm them. And I would assume we already have that. That's why we have the police. So actually, I don't know what we're doing. So, okay, I'll let her talk.
Firstly, it enables the Attorney General to create a 2S LGBTQI plus community safety zone to prohibit within 100 meters of the property any homophobic, transphobic act of intimidation, threat, offensive threats, offensive remarks, protest, disturbance, and distribution of hate propaganda within the meaning of the criminal code. It also comes with it a penalty of $25,000 if prosecuted successfully. Secondly, the Act creates an Ontario 2S LGBTQI+ Safety Advisory Committee to provide recommendations to the provincial government on how to improve safety for our community and to prevent further hate. We need to be able to have the government publish an annual report and an update on the progress of this work. It is that critically important.
Apart from the glam,
they want like a safety zone around any of these events. In Canada, people are allowed to protest. If you don't like something, you're allowed to protest. I don't think we should be stopping people from protesting. I don't know why this is a whole thing now that we've been doing. I would never be someone really to go out there and protest. I'm just not like that. But certain people want to protest stuff. And we've seen people protest on the left. We've seen people protest on the right. Why is this one-sided? If we're going to do this, it should be a general thing for everybody. Everybody should have a safety zone. If they're doing some event, they should all have a safety zone. This should not be specific to just one community. It should be everybody. There are religious communities that might get protested. They should be able to have zones. The same thing with political parties or whoever it has an event and other people don't like it. or just have none and just keep it the way it is. Let's be even-handed with it. I don't know why it always has to be pandering to one group. Let's just be even-handed. Everybody gets a fucking safety zone.
Glamorous, dazzling, and wacky characters I play on television or in venues around the world, I also deal with the very real struggles of homophobia, hate crimes, and acts of purposeful intent to intimidate and now disqualify who I am as a person and what I do as a job. I contacted Kristyn Wong-Tam's office where I met with them and Marit Stiles to discuss these horrifying bills that are being passed around the United States and how it is rapidly starting to affect our communities right here in our backyards. These threats and intimidation tactics are very real and happening all around us to people we love and care about. Even in recent weeks, I myself have been victim to hate crimes and hate speech. I'm a professional drag queen who loves what I do more than anything in the entire world. Drag is all about spreading love and acceptance and allows people to feel empowered and special. Drag artists and trans people have an inherent right to live freely and authentically in their truth. Everyone wants and deserves to feel safe and valued in their work. That is why these recent acts of organized protests and hate speech need to be halted and condemned immediately. Queer businesses are failing due to these acts of hate. Windows are being smashed, property is being damaged, queer families are being targeted, our ally families are being harassed by these protesters. Queer hate crimes have skyrocketed since recent anti-2S LGBTQIA+ bills have been introduced in the US. Drag artists are becoming afraid to go to work. Venues and bars fear protests will occur during drag events, resulting in loss of revenue and unnecessary added costs. Trans people are being told that they need to be eradicated from this world. We are being forced into fear, and we cannot let fear win. We will not let fear win. A world without trans people has never existed. A world without drag has never existed, and it never will. Queer people have always been here amongst us. They are our coworkers, they are our brothers, our sisters, they are our mothers, our fathers, they are our families. Drag is art, drag is culture, drag is educational, drag is creative, drag is comedy, but drag is not a crime.
Okay, I know what she's saying, and I agree with her, like, drag is comedy, and it's artistry, and it's entertaining, and I do actually like watching RuPaul's Drag Race. Like, I don't watch it all the time, but I do enjoy it. It's funny. It's like, it's just silly shit. And I like the artistry of it. Like, I like how they can, with makeup and costumes and stuff, they can transform and, like, look certain ways, and then, like, they do the skits and, like, the dancing stuff, and, you know, the duels, and RuPaul's freaking hilarious, too. Like, he's awesome. So, I don't know. I think it's funny, but all of that being said, if you were going to pass this law, there was no difference between a LGBT plus store or business being smashed up and whatever, vandalized, and a non-LGBTQ plus building or business being smashed up. So I don't understand. Like, don't we have laws and stuff that would go after those people who would do it? Like, it's confusing to me. I don't get it. I don't get it. Why do we need a specific bill for this? Like, why can't it be covered under the same stuff we already have? If we can't cover it under the existing things, then all you're doing is making a patchwork for one group, and then the next group's going to become like, well, what about us? You only did it for this. Like, what about, like, mosques that got, like, shot up or vandalized? Like, what about them? So we need to make a bill for that. Why not just make a general bill that just protects everybody? And why don't we already have that? I don't understand. Maybe I'm missing something. Am I missing something, guys? Like, I don't get it. Anyways, that's my thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. I will see you guys again next time.